NASCAR, in its 75-year history, has never run a street race. And it's something that we've talked about for a number of years. We really wanted to make sure that when we did it, we went to an iconic city. It was an iconic moment. So this being NASCAR's 75th anniversary season, to be able to do it this year in the city of Chicago, incredibly special. Several years ago, we actually came during the pandemic and scanned the streets working with the city of Chicago and the Chicago Sports Commission and created a virtual street race, the Chicago Street Race. And our NASCAR Cup Series drivers actually competed on it virtually. It was live on broadcast. And it was really an opportunity for us to see, okay, could this work? And coming out of that, I think we all looked at each other and were like, absolutely, this could work. Let's figure out how to make it a reality. So Chicago is already a top 3 market for us from a fan base perspective. So we already have a really good fan base in the city. Obviously, it's a big market with a tremendous amount of opportunity. So when we looked at cities, we really wanted to find an opportunity just to continue to introduce NASCAR to a new audience. And being able to do that in downtown Chicago, in and around Grant Park, that's what this event is all about, is just continuing to introduce our sport to a new audience. And I think the location here in Chicago really allows it to do that. From a driver perspective, we'll see all of our NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers and our regular NASCAR Cup Series drivers competing both Saturday and Sunday. We're also going to see a few new drivers that are new to the NASCAR Cup Series racing this weekend that have some street racing experience. We'll have Jimmy Johnson. He is our 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. Most recently, he's been running in the IndyCar Series, and he's been running on street courses. He's coming back to run this event. And then we actually have Formula One champion Jenson Button, who's going to be running this event as well, who has a tremendous amount of experience running on street courses through the Formula One schedule. We also have Illinois driver Justin Allgaier, who will be competing. He's one of our NASCAR Xfinity Series regulars. So excited to have him here. And we're going to see a number of different team members throughout the industry, whether it's pit crew members. I think there's a couple crew chiefs that are from the Chicago area. So I know they're really excited to get here to compete right in their hometown. This weekend is a 2-day racing and music festival. And that's one thing that we're really trying to think differently about the race weekend experience, especially doing it here in and around Grant Park. So this is all about just celebrating Chicago, having a great time during the event weekend. You have 2 races, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, but then we've wrapped that with 4 full concerts. So on Saturday, you'll have the Black Crowes and the Chainsmokers. Sunday, Charlie Crockett and Miranda Lambert. Vibrant festival experience, just food, culture, music, racing, just a little bit of everything. And again, it's the first time both for the city of Chicago and for NASCAR, so you get to be part of history as well. For longtime NASCAR fans that have been following our sport, this is an opportunity to be part of something that we've never done before, to be part of something that a sport that's been around 75 years, to be able to say that there's something that we haven't been done that's hard to find. And so for me, I'd say for our avid fans or longtime fans, as well as our new fans, attending this event, being part of history, being part of NASCAR's very first street race, being part of Chicago's very first street race is incredibly special. I think it's going to be an absolutely iconic weekend, a very spectacular weekend. Gives such a boost to the city of Chicago, but also to our industry. We're really looking forward to it. So in addition to just the music festival, the racing, we'll have activations throughout the entire footprint for people to enjoy. It might be partner displays, photo opportunities, obviously a lot of different food experiences. We'll have a Ferris wheel, tying back to, again, Chicago being the home of the Ferris wheel. We'll have just a number of different things. And then we're also creating a free experience in Butler Field, so just to the north of the main footprint. And that's really for anybody to come out and enjoy the event with or without an admission ticket. It'll provide an education on NASCAR, some entertainment, food, and really just a fun way to be part of the weekend, even if you don't have the admission ticket. So the course for us being in and around Grant Park is incredibly special. And I think for us, it's such an iconic location. So when you look at the footprint itself, it's a 2.2-mile course. 12 different turns, and you'll be able to we're using DuSable Lakeshore Drive all the way over to Michigan Avenue, which are 2 iconic locations in the city in addition to Grant Park. So for us, it was obviously left and right-hand turns and being able to showcase the location, but then also on a course that drives competition for our drivers as well. We have worked really hard in conjunction with the city of Chicago to minimize the disruptions as much as possible. Obviously, we are racing in and around Grant Park, and you'll start to see barriers going in around June 17th, but you won't see a majority of the street closures really occurring until the week before the event, June 25th. And as you get closer to race weekend, you'll see more of those. And then coming out of the event, getting those streets opened as quickly as possible is a priority for us, and we'll be working really closely with the city of Chicago to do that. So we're committed to making sure that we do minimize those disruptions. We have created a website for residents and businesses, NASCARchicago.com/local info, that has all of the latest information on street closures, schedules, just all the details that you need to know on how to move around the city during the time of the setup and the teardown, as well as race weekend. As far as sound, this is one that we've worked really closely with our broadcast and our competition team on. We've reduced the amount of on-track time when the race cars are actually going to be racing to under 10 hours during the entire weekend across Saturday and Sunday. We're being really mindful of what time we're starting. So on Saturday, we won't have race cars on track before 10 a.m. And on Sunday, you won't see race cars on track until after 4:30 p.m. And also, for only the second time, our cars will actually be running mufflers. So again, being thoughtful about the location in which we're racing and trying to, again, minimize those disruptions wherever we possibly can. We definitely recommend public transportation and other ways to get to the footprint outside of driving a vehicle. Again, just being mindful of the fact that there are street closures that will be in play. All of the information on the best way to get to the footprint, as well as just being able to find your way around the city, and the latest street closures and those schedules can be found on NASCARchicago.com/local info. We're updating that almost daily, honestly, on just different questions and details as they come together. But there's a very detailed plan on there of all the streets, how to move around, recommendations. And then as we get closer, we'll continue to add information on public transportation and on all of those details. So we've really worked hard to create a number of different viewing experiences, something for everybody. We have a general admission pass that will allow you really to just access throughout the footprint, watch the race from a number of different areas, which is really what's fun about a road course or a street race, is you get to be able to walk around and see the race from different vantage points. We will have some reserved seats, obviously, just based on the location that we're in. You're not going to see towering grandstands. You'll see some reserved seat structures. And then we have premium hospitality options, which is inclusive food and beverage, just in these premier locations, highlighted by our President's Paddock Club, that is centered on the start-finish line, which will be on Columbus, right at Buckingham Fountain. It's built above a tree line, and it's 2 stories tall. So it's going to provide just absolutely spectacular views, not only of the course and pit road, but of the lakefront, Buckingham Fountain, and the skyline. So really have something for everybody, and all of the tickets include all the races and the concerts. So everything is bundled into one great package. Giving back to the communities in which we race is incredibly important for NASCAR. We have set up an office here. We have a team that is dedicated to the Chicago Street Race 365 days a year. And that's in addition just to those 2 days when we're racing. We really want to be good community partners. We've announced a number of partnerships with organizations like Chicago Public Schools with STEM and STEAM programs, with After School Matters, who's going to have a 200-foot mural on display during the event weekend, the Boys and Girls Club, All Kids Bike, the Parks District. We're sending 220 kiddos to summer camp this summer. We're outfitting teen centers with iRacing and gaming equipment. So really, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, very honestly. We're so committed to being a good member of this community and giving back. So I'm really excited for what's ahead.